Yes, well, if you're just joining us, a very happy Christmas to you and your family. Now, you've been sending in lots and lots of your festive scenes, festive pictures, lots of lovely emails we've received. And we'll be going to some of those pictures of your pets, of nativity, of your children, grandchildren, your Christmas setup, essentially, in just a moment.
It's just what I'm saying, it's a lot of people's first Christmas.
It is, actually.
That's
We've
what I
had
was
lots
about
of
to say.
babies.
Yes, indeed. So get those coming at GBNEWS at GBNews.com.
A little 7-month-year-old.
Yes, anyway, look, joining us to go through some of the news headlines, actual news taking place today, is Benjamin Butterworth and political commentator Connor Tomlinson. Merry Christmas, chaps,
Merry
first
Christmas.
and foremost.
Merry Christmas.
Well done,
Feliz
Mum and Dad, for
Navidad.
separating the kids before we decide to fight, of course.
Yes, well, this could get a bit frosty, although it'd be the only thing that's a bit frosty because it's hot outside and it's hot in here. But
14 degrees.
We're gonna whiz through some of the big stories, aren't we? So, Benjamin, shall we start with you? You've gone for something in the Daily Mail, is that right?
So is this Nicholas Witchell, who has been the BBC's royal correspondent for the last 25 years and is now moving on. You can only imagine that he was holding on to that job desperately until the Queen's sad death arrived, because you wouldn't want to resign until that happened. But he has moved on, and he's given an interview discussing what it was like. And he's talked a lot about Harry and Meghan, and he criticises both sides of that story. He says that he would have thought Meghan is intelligent enough to understand that the royal family were trying desperately, but there was an inescapable culture clash, he says. He says that he doesn't think it was about racism. He thinks it's about the fact that she was from California and they had such different cultures that they weren't able to make it work. But he also says that he thinks it was desperately sad for the late Queen, who so wanted it to work, but that Prince Charles, now King Charles, now this is a man that Nicholas Witchell and the now King are said to not get on terribly well, and he says that he really should have put more effort in because he thinks Prince Harry could have been saved from the corner that he's now in.
And why do you think Nicholas Witchell is saying all this?
Well, he's left the job. He's left the BBC after 2.5 decades. And, you know, nobody has had a ringside seat to just about the most dramatic years, the most tumultuous years the royal family have had besides the 90s, than Nicholas Witchell. So he has this exceptional insight. And, of course, at the BBC, he had to keep his opinions about this to himself for so long.
Oh, gosh, yes. I mean, they
itching to tell people the real deal.
BBC famously keeping their opinions to themselves. Connor, just quickly, your view on that. Do you buy that from Witchell?
I hate to be a Scrooge, but besides the pomp and ceremony of the last few years, the Jubilee and the Queen's funeral and the coronation as a celebration of Britishness, I'm kind of exhausted with the royal racism row stuff.
Yeah.
I really would have hoped that if Harry and Meghan truly wanted their privacy, they wouldn't keep parading themselves out in front of Netflix on an Oprah. Just leave them to it and stop disparaging the dignity of the institution.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Connor, but apparently there are big things to come in 2024
Oh,
for
Lord
Harry and
help us
Meghan, or just Meghan, maybe.
She's turning down offers left, right and centre. Left, right and centre. Connor, I'll stick with you. We've got a viral story here now.
Oh, yeah.
It just says here, headline, Christmas turkey carnage. Go
Yeah,
on.
well, all of these photos you've been showing, you would have thought they were images from Halloween, not Christmas morning. You'd have been pretty disappointed if you had had the foresight and the pre-planning to book your turkey well in advance at a reputable retailer rather than dashing out on Christmas Eve, and you get something that looks like the egg from Alien. I mean, genuinely, it's about a face hugger's about to crawl out the back of it. Though I will take issue, Patrick, if you do say order a takeaway on Christmas Day, all of the stories I've been hearing coming out about of the cycling delivery drivers, I might not want to order from those guys in case they're all on the take. Instead, I don't know, enjoy your sprouts instead, unless Prince Charles has been putting King Charles and putting them on his tree.
Never knowingly
That's the worst one. That's the worst one for me. That's on your screens right now. If we've got radio listeners, I'm not sure I'm allowed to describe how that turkey looks, to be honest with you.
It looks like it's fallen over in a gutter after a night out.
There you go. Well done, Connor.
I think I'd be swapping from the TV to the radio after seeing that. It looks revolting.
Benjamin, there's also been quite a lot of stories of people who've ordered in advance from a supermarket, and you know how sometimes you get products swapped?
Yes.
So someone ordered a joint of ham, like a proper joint of ham, and they got wafer-thin slices that you put in a sandwich. It's not really what you want, is it?
Brilliant.
Do you know, I would never risk it by ordering online for Christmas, because you can't mess that up. But do you know what? I went shopping on Saturday morning and it was so much more empty than I expected. So that suggests an awful lot more people are doing this online rather than in person. But, you know, there are other things you can have. In Japan, it is traditional to have a KFC on Christmas Day rather than to cook. Many Jewish families, it's a tradition to have a Chinese. So Patrick, yeah, on Christmas Eve, because they're the only restaurants that tend to be open. So that might be one for you. Patrick, you said you wanted a Chinese
I'll have
earlier.
a Chinese any place, any time, mate. Any place, any time.
Breakfast, lunch or dinner.
Now, Benjamin, I'll stick with you on this. So this is Ukraine celebrating a first Christmas on the 25th of December. Just talk us through this.
So Ukraine's Orthodox Church had been celebrating Christmas as the Russians do, because the Russians do, on the 7th of January for about the last 100 years. But as part of their removing the consequences of the Soviet Empire, of Russian influence, they have decided this year that since September, they move to the same calendar that we in Britain use, rather than the Russian one, the Julian calendar. And so this is their first Christmas Day. Not ever, because I think before recent Russian influence, they used to celebrate it on Christmas Day before 100 years ago, but they have reverted to ours. So
that is a significant change.
it is, and it must be very strange because, you know, the cultural traditions of Christmas are so strong.
Yeah.
It must be very odd for a lot of Ukrainians. But it also shows, obviously, the strength of feeling that they do not want any reference to Russian traditions in their life.
No, indeed. Connor, have you got strong views on that, or do you want to skip a story ahead?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I wonder if this is part of the courting of Western politicians after the Americans have voted not to give aid, after Rishi Sunak has yet to announce this aid package. A bunch of former defence secretaries came out yesterday and said we should give 2.3 billion. Grant Shapps wants 3% of GDP to go on military spending. So, because we haven't given them the money yet, I wonder if they're trying to say, hey, look, we're still westernised. Do you think? Don't forget about us, guys.
And that new Mariah Carey song, All I Want for Christmas is $7 billion in military aid.
Is some fighter
that was
jets.
a subtle hint, that was.
That's their Eurovision entry this year, isn't it?
You do make me laugh.
We're off to a flyer, chaps. Thank you very, very much. Just stay with us for now, because we're going to go and have a look at some of the wonderful pictures that our GB News viewers and listeners have been sending. So where are we going? We're going to Dean in Orpington. He says, this is my son Jamie attacking his pile of presents this Christmas.
It's definitely still dark.
It's definitely still dark. Well, happy Christmas, Jamie, and it's great to see that Santa has been. He says that he's a huge fan of Patrick and Emily. Bold to ask, but can my son and I come to your wedding? Oh, my gosh. Well, it's Christmas.
Well, if we make an exception for you, you know.
We did say no kids, but I think, you know, Jamie could be like a page boy or something.
Yeah, he could, yeah. If he brings us lots of presents.
Yeah, if you promise not to eat much, because the bill's racking up at the moment. But anyway, there we go. Dawn says, yes, you can. Why not? Hey, there we are. Oh, here we go.
Dawn says, could you wish my lovely dad, Noel, a happy 87th birthday today? Yes, of course, we can.
Happy birthday.
87 years old on Christmas Day. Thank you and Merry Christmas, she says.
Oh, it's a perfect name as well. Noel, yep. OK, I'm sure that's not lost on him. Martin Marie...
This might be why he was called that.
Obviously, yeah. Sorry, Noel. Not much help us today. Martin and Marie, Archie and family say, here is a picture of our Christmas tree and jukebox.
Oh, I love that.
That's gorgeous.
That is a very classy-looking room, isn't it?
It is.
You've got the chandelier, the beautiful Christmas tree, the jukebox. I wonder what's on there. Maybe All I Want for Christmas?
Yeah, indeed. Have you got a favourite Christmas song, Connor?
Oh, probably Driving Home for Christmas.
Driving Home for Christmas.
That's one of my favourites.
Benjamin?
Do you know, this year it's been Rocking Around the Tree by Brenda Lee, because it finally got to #1 after 60 years. She was 13 when she recorded it, and it wasn't in the charts anywhere until the mid-90s. And I just love that this old lady has finally got the recognition that she deserves.
I thought you'd be more of a Santa baby.
Well, what you and Patrick listen to is up to you.
That got weird quick. Let's go to somebody else's house now. And we have three Christmas celebrations to fit in all the family. Who is this?
Yes,
Let's
this
go.
was last weekend and the first of three.
It's Ruth.
Ruth. Sorry, Ruth. That is Ruth and her family. It looks like fun.
Well done.
Looks like fun.
One more quick one. Pauline says, a bit of a throwback for you. This is me on the left.
Wow.
1953, when she was 5.
Oh, I didn't think she was on the right.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, gosh. And you would know a thing or two about being on the right, Connor, to be fair. There we go. Look, we've got loads more to come now. What
You
we
like saying that to other people, don't you?
Yeah. What we got coming up now, Emily? Go on.
Yes, what will the royal family be doing over the Christmas holiday? We will be finding out more what's going on in Sandringham after your weather update with Greg Dewhurst.
Yeah.